Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're going to go ahead and kick off this presentation tonight. We're going to be talking about Tulane School of Professional Advancement, and we're going to be focusing specifically on our General Legal Studies program. So tonight we have a content expert with us, Ms. Robin Ice, who's our program director and is an amazing resource. So please, everyone, take advantage of her presence, submit any questions or topics that you'd like us to cover. And we'll have a Q&A session at the very end of this so that we can make sure that anything that interests you or that you want to clarify, that we really have an opportunity to hone in on that. So really briefly to present our agenda, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of Tulane SOPA, and then we're going to get into those specifics about the General Legal Studies program. That's where Ms. Robin Ice is really going to be able to show you guys how amazing of a program that we have built here, and she'll really identify some of those key components that we really like to celebrate. And then we'll get into a little bit more of those other details about Tulane SOPA, like how we help to support student success, how you actually apply, and then tuition and financial aid. We'll cap everything off with that Q&A. And then from there, if you have any follow-up questions, you'll also be getting a recording of this as well as our contact information after the session. So I introduced myself in part, but for those of you who've seen any of our webinars, you've probably seen quite a bit of me recently. My name's Chris Lloyd, and I'm an admissions associate here at Tulane SOPA. In my current role, I work really closely with all of our prospective students. So whether that's people who are still evaluating or they're actually in the application process, I'm going to be your best point of contact for any of those application-related issues. Now, for anything that's dealing with that deep down content about our General Legal Studies program, I wanted to introduce Robin Ice. Robin, could you tell everyone a little bit about your background?
And now I'll unmute so you can actually hear me. My name's Robin Ice. I am the director of the General Legal Studies program. Until I came here, I was a practicing attorney, and I had a lot of experience working with paralegals and folks who wanted to go to law school, folks who graduated from law school, and so on. We're very proud of this program. It has been approved by the American Bar Association for about 35 years, which means that it has been under constant regulation pursuant to their guidelines for that long. And that ensures that we have a high quality, rigorous program. We're happy that you've joined us and look forward to hearing your questions now or after the webinar is over.
Thank you so much, Robin. So just wanted to go ahead and dive in, tell you guys a little bit about the history of SOPA. So Tulane itself was initially founded in 1834, and since then we've undergone quite a few changes. One of those big changes was in 1886, so before our time, and that's where we first started offering courses to adult learners. And that's basically been a way for Tulane to give back to the community in which it resides. So it's an opportunity as sort of an outreach division for people to be able to get this great education and make it accessible to the people within our community. So if you're looking at that timeline, that's about 130 years where SOPA has really shown a commitment to education and specifically towards adult learners. So we've got a really strong foundation here. And then in 2017, we actually had an update where we went from being university college to continuing studies to now under our current name of School of Professional Advancement. Part of that relaunch was to make sure that we were aligning our coursework, aligning the coursework along with what is actually relevant in the industry. So part of that is having programs that have been regularly reviewed by external stakeholders and programs designed with some of the actual hiring bodies as participants in this course design. So for some of our programs, that means that GNO and some of these external partners have had a big part in helping to shape the courses that we've offered. And it also means that we've expanded access to our programs. Part of that has been, we have a lot more online programming. So for the bachelor's degrees, you can complete the majority of them online, whereas with the master's degrees and some of the certificate programs, you can complete them entirely online. So it really does allow you to be able to take on the coursework at a time and in terms that are really going to work for your lifestyle. And then we also have our standard in-person offerings. So whether you're doing online, on campus, or some combination, you've really got access to really high quality content. So you could be doing that kind of synchronous course where you have to log in at a really specific time, and it's just like being in a live classroom, and you really get that interaction. Or maybe you're someone where you have really intense obligations and you need that asynchronous course time where you might be logging in late at night or in those weird hours where you're able to take on the coursework in the free time that you have. And with those, that can be really powerful ways for you to be able to take on the education in your own terms. In general, for any of those synchronous or in-person classes, they're going to be offered during the daytime, in the evenings and night, or on the weekends. So a really typical course might be you meet Wednesday night from 6 p.m. until 8:50, and then that's your one in-person class meeting. And then you have other work that's expected of you until that next meeting. So for those of you who are that tactile learner, you might really want that in-person coursework. And for those of you that maybe are deployed or live elsewhere, that online or combination coursework can be really helpful for you. So I wanted to turn things over to Robin so she could really talk about those details because she is our content expert in this field. Robin, could you tell our viewers a little bit about the General Legal Studies program?
Absolutely. It is my pleasure. This program of study is called General Legal Studies, and we have three options, two of which are ABA approved. The General Legal Studies major provides students with a Bachelor of Arts in General Legal Studies and a paralegal certificate. Why the paralegal certificate, you may wonder? That is because this is a credential that employers in this area require of students who want to come to work at law firms in some capacity other than as lawyers. For paralegals, legal assistants, some call them file clerks, whatever the title may be, the paralegal certificate is a credential of choice in employers in this area. It requires completion of 120 credits, and as I mentioned before, with this, it's a Bachelor of Arts degree and the paralegal certificate. For students who have already completed who've already completed a bachelor's degree, at another institution in another field, we have available the post-baccalaureate certificate in paralegal studies. This is a 27 credit program that is really popular among students who are looking to retool and perhaps go from something that they majored in as an undergrad into something in the legal field in which they've developed an interest. And both of these programs are very popular and very useful for students who are wanting to go to law school. The practical and applied knowledge that we provide to students and the experience in legal research, legal writing, litigation, and other law-related tasks are very valuable to those who want to go to law school. We also offer, both of those programs are ABA approved. We also offer a minor in general legal studies, which is not ABA approved, but this 18 credit minor can be completed entirely online. I must mention that because of the rigorous ABA guidelines to which we must adhere, all students must take at least 4 classes in live, in-person format. Excuse me. This is not difficult because we do offer plenty of options for students online and live. So this is the rundown on what's required. It's 120 total credits, 36 credits of which are your general legal studies courses. This includes 6 core skills courses that everyone takes and that are offered every single semester. And for the Bachelor of Arts, English 1010 is a prerequisite for all. And if you know anything about the law profession, you know how important writing is. So English 1010, which is freshman composition, is a key starter point. If you want to minor in another field, another SOPA area, such as IT, healthcare, Many of our students choose an applied business minor. That's your choice. You don't have to. You can also use up those remaining credits to reach 120 in electives. So that is your choice. And let's see, our next slide. I'm not sure how we move the slides forward. At any rate, the post-baccalaureate certificate is 27 credits. It too is ABA approved. It, as I mentioned before, includes the 6 core paralegal skills courses that everyone takes and upper level electives. Now, in both of these options, these degree options, you see listed 4,000 level GLSP electives, and these are in a fascinating array of areas. They include family law, administrative law, admiralty, criminal, workers' comp, a variety of substantive legal areas that we have chosen based on the availability of work in these areas for our graduates. So I think these are all very useful. And finally, for students who are not already working in a law office, the practicum or internship class is required. This includes a 100-hour internship in a law office, which we help you find. We work with a huge pool and of wonderful law firms who have hosted our interns in the past, love having our students with them, and provide a great work experience. So that I'm hoping to answer one of the questions that always comes up, which is, how do I find an internship in a law office if I don't know lawyers? Well, we do, and we help place you. The 100-hour internship is complemented by a classroom component that meets every other week and focuses upon, in part, the synthesis of the practical skills that you have learned in those 6 core courses and the job search skills that you will need to find employment once you graduate. So we find that that practicum course is a very, very useful class for our students as they enter their final or perhaps their penultimate semester. The minor is, as I mentioned earlier, is 18 credits, and this can be completed entirely online because it is not ABA approved. It's compatible with any of the other SOPA minors, SOPA majors. So it goes right, it links right in with other BA or BS degrees that are available through SOPA. It provides really good background knowledge about the legal system, and it gives you a sense of where you are and how the laws apply and what the legal profession entails without giving you the basic skills courses that the paralegal degree does. No certificate is awarded on completion of this one, by the way. Now, what about careers? Most people come to us because they are hoping to change careers or advance their careers where they already are. And I'm happy to report that thanks to our long history as an ABA approved program and to the long history and success of our alumni, the folks who have graduated from our program, we have broad support in the legal community here. We have access to many job opportunities before they are even posted on Craigslist or Indeed or some other job search engine. Employers reach out to us, and I post the jobs directly to our students and graduates as soon as I receive them. So this gives you first line access to opportunities that may be available. And we're happy to say that our graduates are working in law offices throughout this region. They are working as paralegals. Some are office managers, legal office managers. Some are human resource managers. We have folks who are working as investigators for law firms, and one in particular for the Orleans Public Defenders, court clerks, We have folks who work for insurance companies as adjusters or paralegals or in other capacities. So there are many, many ways, many directions you can take once you complete a degree in legal studies. But what about those who are interested in law school? Well, we are happy to say that our degree program provides a really good background for those who want to go to law school. As I mentioned, the practical skills courses that students complete in our degree programs put them far above other students who have majored in other areas when they go to law school. Our students walk into law school knowing how to do legal research, what legal writing entails, what litigation is, where the courthouse is, which is something that many times students in law school don't know until the very end, and many other aspects of the practice of law that are so important and make law school more meaningful. If you have any other questions about how our program can help you as you prepare for your law school journey, please reach out to me directly. I'll be happy to help you. I actually went to law school as an adult and as a parent after working 11 years in another field. And I think I have some pretty good information that I can provide to other grown-ups who want to pursue this path and know that it's non-traditional. I work directly with the pre-law advisors here at Tulane Law School to help students get started. Whether you want to go here or to another law school in the area, we're here to help.
Robin, thank you so much. That was an incredible overview of our program. And I think that the people who are tuning in now are going to have either a lot of follow-up questions. So definitely, for those of you watching, make sure to take down Robin's information or follow up with me. I really can't stress enough how amazing of a resource she is, and especially that she's able to share some of that personal journey with you. And hopefully you guys are able to relate to that and can understand that making a career change later in life can be a really big decision. And part of that is really going into an environment where it's going to be set up with success in mind. And for me personally, and from what I've experienced here at SOPA, I think that SOPA is designed in a way that really stimulates and supports our student success. And part of that begins with people like Robin. So the kind of advising that you get from Robin and also from our academic advisors, I think is really unique in the level of access that you get. For me personally, when I went through college, it would take me weeks out to actually get a hold of an advisor. And then even then, it would feel kind of like they were catching up to my case as I was getting there. There wasn't that personal interaction. Whereas here daily, I see students who walk in, meet an advisor who gives them a hug or a handshake, recognizes them, asks them about their life, and then tailors that advice towards them and towards their situation. And I think that degree of access is something that's a really unique way to ensure that our students are actually getting personalized advice that works for them and is directing them towards the paths that can help to most support their career aspirations. So another way that I think that we also really help with that is through the faculty composition we have here. So Robin is a great example of faculty composition that we have, which is it draws from people who actively work in the industry and in the field. So we have a lot of adjunct faculty who are still actively working as attorneys or working in support roles. And having that sort of experience and expertise in the classroom level, I think pays dividends. You really get access to people who have the experience of carrying out these vital functions, but they're also providing you with knowledge that isn't dated. You're getting a perspective that's accurate and is reflective of the current conditions. So it really does help to model the kind of behaviors and the sort of career pathways that you may be looking for. And another piece that I think is really important to that is something that Robin was hitting on earlier, which is our career advising. So for those of you who may be out there wondering, how do I actually find an office to work in? How do I find an internship if I don't know these attorneys? If the only attorneys I know are from billboards, how do I find something specific to me? And Robin, I think, knocked it out of the park earlier when she told you guys that we are there 100% to help you to find the right place for you and that we'll help you with that hard work of finding that internship. And then you do that next step by succeeding at that internship and really showing off the high quality education you've got and the hard work that you've put into there. And one of the last pieces I really want to highlight is our network of Tulane alumni. For those of you that are in the G&O region or in South Louisiana, you probably know quite a few Tulane graduates. And if you don't, you probably know businesses that are actively hiring Tulane graduates because they're familiar with the quality of our work. So having that brand recognition within the city, within the region, even nationally is huge, and can also be helpful when you're looking at going out into the field. So being able to build relationships through your internships, through the career advising offered by Miss Cynthia Washington, through the networks that Robin has, I think those are really wonderful resources, and I can't sell that enough. Having access to a built-in alumni network that is over 130 years strong and has a really strong foundation of success, I think that's going to be helpful and is going to give you a leg up when you're going out into the working world. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the credits for prior learning, but that's also another way where you can really leverage your background skills, all of those professional experiences you've had to get through your degree a little bit quicker. So we're going to go into depth about that, but I wanted to also talk about some of those nitty-gritty details, the actual application process. So for those of you who are still evaluating, I recommend go ahead, start your application, because for joining us today, you're going to be getting an application fee waiver. So normally at the undergraduate level, you'd be looking at a $40 application fee, but we're going to be taking care of that. So for you, you can start that with no cost. What you would have spent on an application fee, you can put towards either transcripts, maybe take yourself out to a nice dinner. And the only other pieces that you'll really be responsible for are filling out those questions within the application, having a clear photo of a government issued ID that is unexpired. So those driver's licenses, those state IDs, as long as they're unexpired, those are perfect. And make sure the picture's clear enough so that we can make out your name and all that other information. And then sending us transcripts. So whether you have a physical or a digital transcript, we can accept both. The electronic transcript is going to be preferred just because it's going to be a lot quicker. Schools are going to be able to send that out. You're not also going to be subject to Orleans or Jefferson Parish's mail systems, which can slow things down just a little bit. And with those electronic transcripts, you can send those to us directly at soparecords@tulane.edu. So when you're filling out that transcript request with your college, you can put that information in there, or you can send it physically to us. So our Tulane campus at Elmwood is going to be the place you want to send it. So that's going to be 800 East Commerce Road, Suite 100, Harahan, Louisiana, 70123. As long as you're addressing it to SOPA or even to me, Chris Lloyd, it'll go to the right place, and that'll ensure that we get your transcripts and process them. If you're one of those people where you still have a copy of your transcript and it's sealed and bears that registrar stamp or sticker, then we can use that. Otherwise, if you have those unofficial transcripts where you're uploading a copy of your transcript, we can use that as part of a conditional review, and that can really help to expedite your admissions decision, but it would still only be a conditional admission. I don't want that to dissuade anyone, because those unofficial transcripts can be really good at accelerating the pace and getting you to that admissions decision quicker, but we still will need an official copy in order to convert it to a full admission. So the application deadlines, you've still got quite a bit of time now for spring 2020. January 1st is going to be your application deadline there. So that means you'll want to have it submitted and in full. Now, when I say in full, I mean we have all of your materials that we need. So even if it's just that unofficial transcript, we'll work with you, because some of you might have just finished a semester and you're waiting for the actual transcript to get sent. You know, whatever other situation you're going through, we'll be there to help support you, but you want to make sure you're at least getting the application started and you've got all that necessary information for a preliminary review by January 1st. If you're finishing courses and you need a little more time, that summer deadline might be a little bit better for you with May 15th. So with any of these deadlines, you have classes starting a couple of weeks after. So it's always going to be better to finish the application as early as you can to make sure that you're in with that first cohort of people who are registering for classes. Otherwise, you might have diminished class choices if you're looking at adding them right as the semester is beginning. And then our fall term is currently going on now, but if you're looking at fall of 2020, you've got until August 15th. So no matter which term you're selecting, you still got a bit of time to work on this. So definitely start the process now, and then you can help to fill in those gaps with the materials when it's convenient or when you're able to. So for tuition and financial aid, for spring of 2020 at the undergraduate rate, you're looking at 474 a credit hour. For graduate programs, you'd be looking at 1039 a credit hour. So with the general legal studies program, you're looking at that BA or that post-baccalaureate. So you're going to be charged at that undergraduate tuition rate. For many of our students, they also use some of the financial aid offered, whether it's federal grants or federal loans. So the typical FAFSA that you would do for any school is the same one that you would do for us. And then if you qualify for any of those grants or loans, you'd be able to use them here. And then we also have discounts available for our active duty military, veterans, teachers, as well as Orleans and Jefferson Parish employees. So some of our EMS and first responders are also covered in that grouping. And for those of you that are EMS, you also would be receiving credits for your EMS training that would be applied towards your electives. So really great way to accelerate your time here and reduce that out-of-pocket cost. And something I also wanted to call out for any of our veterans who are officially separated from the military or retired, you likely qualify for one of our Yellow Ribbon scholarships. So for those of you who don't know about the Yellow Ribbon Scholarship, it's a way to help cover the difference between your GI Bill or educational benefits and the cost of attendance. So for those of you that do qualify, it's a really effective way to reduce your out-of-pocket cost to basically zero. So we have over 30 of those scholarships available for SOPA students. And from what I've last seen, there's still quite a few that are unclaimed. So great opportunity for you to be able to use that GI Bill or educational benefits and then also pay next to nothing out of pocket for a Tulane degree. There's not many deals like that out there. It's a really wonderful opportunity. And that Tulane degree doesn't say Tulane University, comma, colon, dash, School of Professional Advancement. It looks exactly the same as a degree you would get from any of the schools within Tulane. So for those of you that are veterans, no one has to know you got an amazing deal on your education. So I talked about it a little earlier, but the credits for prior learning is something that we've done with an alternative certification body where we're basically trying to find ways to give credit to students for the experiences that they've had outside of the classroom. Really typical example of that would be, say you were in the military and you received a really specific training for your role. So maybe in the military, you were working as a law clerk or something similar to where you actually interacted with the field and you have certifications from the military or work experience. You could go into our portfolio classes, and with a portfolio class, you can write a portfolio that basically describes the experiences that you've had, talks about how it's relevant to the classes you're trying to earn credits for. And then for the undergraduate level, you could potentially receive up to 24 credits. So if you were in the military or working in a related field for a long time and have a wealth of experience, those 24 credits make up just over, I want to say just over a fifth of a bachelor's education. So if you look at the cost savings of that, that's huge. I mean, you can effectively knock off almost a year from your journey. And if you're someone where maybe you're not a full-time student, that's another way to really increase that time to completion. At the graduate level, you can receive up to 6 credits. So even if you're looking at programs beyond once you complete that BA or that post-baccalaureate certificate, there's still ways to get recognized for that service and for the work that you've done. So that's a really great way to reduce that tuition and increase that time to completion. Get through with your degree quicker and get out into the working world. So I know we've thrown a lot at you guys here over the past half hour. So there's probably been some questions that have developed. So I just wanted to give everyone a moment to submit through the Q&A or chat function. But while we're waiting for that, I just wanted to recap some of those really, I think, highlight themes that Robin was expressing earlier. So something that I think is of extreme importance that we shared with you guys towards the beginning is ABA. Those 3 letters are extremely important. The fact that the American Bar Association has approved our coursework is huge. when you have one of the default bodies for any field certifying you as providing content and education that matches their expectations or exceeds it, that is an incredible experience for you and a great way for you to get something that is nationally tested and that's repeatedly undergoing review. The ABA is not going to hand out a stamp of approval and then it just sits there forever. These are programs that go through rigorous examination and are regularly ensured that they match and comply. So having something that's a responsive, constantly updated program is going to be huge for you. And then having resources like Robin, like our academic advisors, like our career advising, that's going to be another huge benefit to your career. So you're really going to be walking out with an education that matches what the field expects. You're going to have a support system built in that has the experience of having been in that industry. And then you're going to have specific tailored academic and career advising that is tailored towards you. I feel like those few things right there are really the big themes that I want everyone to take home from this presentation. It looks like we don't have any questions that have been raised and no one's raised anything through the chat. So I just wanted to turn it over to Robin. Robin, do you have any last comments that you want to share with our viewers?
Yes, I sure do. I wanted to mention a couple of things that are probably of interest. You touched on it earlier, Chris, but our faculty in the General Legal Studies program is composed entirely of practicing attorneys and practicing paralegals. These are people who go to work every day in a law office or a court, as is the case with our legal writing instructor, and have immediate experience in the areas that they're teaching. So they not only are able to teach you the subject matter, but they also can impart to you how the workplace is for those areas of law, how it works when cases go to court. They can give you hands-on experience, and that is actually what we strive to do with the assignments that we give. These attorneys and paralegals also serve as a built-in jumpstart on your legal network. So once you have completed this program, or even after you've just started, if you get to know we always advise people to get to know your professors, get to know those who are working in the field, and tell them you're interested in seeking jobs in that area. Our instructors many have been with us for 20 years or more, and they love our students. They've helped our students in so many ways, whether the goal is working in a law firm or proceeding on to law school. Our instructors are a wonderful, helpful group of people. I also want to mention the post-baccalaureate certificate. Although it is offered to students who have completed a bachelor's degree previously, it is classified as an undergraduate degree when you apply. And this is especially important, and we've kept it this way, because this keeps the costs down for this. Maintaining the status of the post-baccalaureate certificate as an undergrad degree means that you get to take advantage of the undergrad tuition in completing these 27 credits rather than the graduate tuition. So I think those are kind of important points. If you have any other questions, I know Chris has just shared the information that I provided earlier. You can call me, you can send me an email. Unless I'm traveling for ABA or doing something else, I am incredibly responsive, I think. I usually pick up the phone on the first ring, an old habit from when I was a lawyer. And I'm always glad to talk to students who are interested in our program.
Robin, thank you so much for your participation tonight. And one thing I just wanted to share as a final thought to everyone that's viewing in or that's tuning in with us. One thing that we didn't really cover tonight was talking about the diversity and composition of our classes. And I think not mentioning that would kind of be a disservice. So for those of you who are maybe looking at a career change, or maybe you're just out of high school, it's never too early or never too late. The diversity of our classes really give you a wealth of different experiences and perspectives. And when you're working in a field like the law, doing legal work, you're going to be interacting with people from every different background, from every different socioeconomic class and every different grouping. So having the ability to communicate effectively with people from all walks of life is going to be huge. So getting that diverse classroom experience and being in a classroom environment that's not a monoculture is going to be huge. And I wanted to make sure that I really express that to everyone who's viewing in today. As Robin shared about her personal journey, she took on the decision to go into law while balancing a lot of other obligations. So it's not an impossible journey for anyone. If you have things that you're balancing, if you have, obligations like a current job or children, anything like that, there's still opportunities for you to start that journey and get engaged with it. And we're here to help with that. So while there's that no cost opportunity to start that application, take advantage of it. And if you have questions that come up, or you just really want to be able to learn from that wealth of experience that Robin has, reach out to us and start that conversation. But either way, thank you guys so much for your time tonight. And when you're applying, if you don't automatically get that application fee waiver applied for you, just reach out to me and I'll be sure that it's applied for you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.